up, you guys? This is Rob from the Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Snapshot, we're going to be playing around with one of Ergo's new toys when we take a look at the Supra Vandal. Now, currently, the only way to get your hands on the Supra Vandal is during the Ambulance Reborn operation. For more details, I'll leave you guys a link to the video right there, as well as one in the end card. Now, once everything is all said and done, Ergo Glass sends you his regards, as well as something for you to play with. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the Supra, it's basically a projectile-based fully automatic rifle with the majority of its IPS sitting in puncture. After a short wind-up time, it's got a fairly fast fire rate that comes with a bit of a recoil. Its supplemental stats aren't all that great, sitting at a 2.5% crit chance and a 5% status chance. However, it does have a Cephalon Pseudo Augment that provides a 20% additive boost to its status chance, as well as a power pool boosting energy restoring entropy effect. As for the Vandal specific upgrades, it did get a decent accuracy increase which will indirectly help you with its ammo economy, as well as a boost to its magazine size, meaning that you'll have to reload less often, which is definitely a savior as its base reload speed is a whopping 3 seconds long. In addition to all of that, its max ammo has also been kicked up from 1080 up to 1600 and given 2 default V polarities as opposed to the standard which has none whatsoever. Now as for the build, due to the fact that this really doesn't have any supplemental stats, it's all pretty basic, using elemental combos to do kind of most of the hefty work. However, I would highly suggest picking up an entropy burst, mainly because sometimes you need an extra added little punch, especially when it comes to stripping armor or just inflicting status effects in general. These last 2 slots here, aside from your elemental combo, which belongs here, I put things in weird places. This is where I feel they belong. But these last 2 ones here are highly subjective. Of course, I have a ribbon for it, which you probably don't have, so that probably doesn't help you in any way, shape, or form. However, those 2 are kind of subjective. Whether you want to put more elemental mods in there, whether you want to put a heavy caliber in there, whatever it is that you feel, you got the options to play around with. Alrighty, so at its top end, this thing doesn't actually perform half bad. The increased accuracy makes it a lot easier to get headshots, which is definitely something that you want to go for in this instance, as even though it does look like it whittled it down pretty quickly, it actually burned through a lot of ammo in order to get the job done. So all in all, the Supra Vandal isn't half bad, with a majority of its upgrades really focusing on ammo management and ammo capacity, which is definitely something that the original Supra needed. Now, of course, it got no upgrades to its actual damage output. However, it did get a shiny new paint job, and I think that really definitely pushes it into the endgame category. So that about does it for all of the facts and figures. If you guys want to stick around, I'm going to jump into gameplay right now. Okay, so clearly the event is still on, so I've got a whole bunch of Animo? How? Literally, I think that DE, sets us up to fail when it comes to pronouncing things. I'm like, why you gotta make it so hard? Why is it gotta be like this? So I'm gonna go ahead and farm a little bit more of that, and usually I do this on the Sabotage on Sao. However, I kind of wanted to, I guess be in a mission just a little bit longer than, that mission is really short. So I was like, alright, well, if I really want to discuss kind of like extra additional feelings when it comes to the Supra Vandal, I wanted to have a few minutes to extrapolate. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I've never really been a fan of the Vandal before. I'm not, okay. I can't say that I'm not a fan, I just didn't find it really all that interesting enough for me to give a shit about. Number one, okay, in its customization, just so that you know, the original version, there are only 2 real colors that mattered to it, which is its primary and its secondary. Now in this variant, its tertiary also matters, but only, you see how there's that little lotus? There's that little lotus on the back end of it. Like, if you zoom in, you can see it on the, aiming, I guess it's not like an aiming reticle, it's like an aiming lump. Whatever that aiming lump is, that's where I think the tertiary color sits in. But, its accent color doesn't really exist, which is kind of like, oh, that's shitty. And then on top of that, can we get these guys up here before they drop down? No. But yeah, so it doesn't really exist. So it's really the main 2 colors are the primary and the secondary of it. And I'm like, all right, that's fine and dandy. So its customization has never really been a thing, and I got so much heat from you guys because I use the freaking whatever that thing is. There's so many things in the game to remember the names. I can't remember the names of everything. But whatever that little bit was, the thing that unlocks the things, yeah, I got so much shit for you guys for, number one, not hotkeying it and using it on really easy things. Listen, force of habit, okay? Regardless, yeah, so customization-wise, I wasn't really impressed with the original. I'm like, alright, this is like some weird, I don't know, weird blocky-looking weapon. I didn't really think it was all that cool. The fast fire rate weapons to me aren't really eye-catching without some cool supplemental stat to go along with them. Kind of like fully automatic rifles are just a little meh to me, if I'm gonna be completely frank with you. And I still kind of feel the same way about the Supra. However, I do believe, and I'm gonna go and check through this, and I'll leave it in the pinned comments if I do catch any more. But this is the first Vandal that we can color, so of course we can make it rose gold, which makes me exciting and will allow me to forgive it for only really having two colors that access it. I know the energy color is actually pretty prevalent through the barrel, which is kind of cool, but you know, like, I'm sure they could have fit like another color like on the inside of the handle trigger or something somewhere there to kind of make the model feel like it's a little bit punchier. However, I do really like its looks, and I'm really excited to see how the rest of the Vandals are going to end up turning out when they go through, you know, when they go through the change. When we can go ahead and customize them. Let's leave it at that. When you can go ahead and customize them, I think it'll be really exciting to take a look at what everything looks like. I know I do definitely want to revisit the Dara. But as for the Supra itself, so if you guys want any more insight into it, the only thing that you really need to know about it is, number one, it's gonna eat ammo pretty gosh darn quickly. So make sure you either have ammo packs available, you're going to be using your carrier sentinel with the ammo loot box or whatever the fuck it is. I'm sorry. I couldn't give a shit about sentinels. I never will. No, I can't say that I never will. I can't say that I never will. But I really, ever since Kubros and Kabats came out, I was just like, peace, see ya. We're broken. We're done. We're done. I have no interest in hanging out with you anymore. Yeah, so I just really haven't been all that interested. However, that's one solution, or an ammo mutation. You guys know that I did put the reload speed mod on this. If you feel like it, I do believe that there are some prime mods that'll help you with managing your ammo on this weapon. So that's one of the things to think about. And then the last thing to think about is really just its recoil, which, to be honest, once it spools up, it doesn't have any kick back, but it definitely has kick up. So you're going to have to manage that when you're shooting, is that it goes up, but if you kind of, you know, readjust once it's met its kind of like max spooled out speed, it's pretty good. Its accuracy at long range isn't terrible. It's definitely a lot tighter than it used to be. Like, it's like legitimately, that thing looked like a fucking water fountain. And at least here, it's not half bad. It's still not the greatest, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And I know there's a big, here's the thing, all I can say is that I know that there are a lot of people. I know that there's some hardcore fanboys that go crazy over the Supra, so they're gonna be like cringing. They're like, Rob, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. It's the best weapon in the game. And you know what? You know, you do you. You love you. If this is your weapon, one true love, then you get into it. But me personally, I'm kind of like, it's fun, it's nice, but it's not necessarily my be-all end-all, let's just say that. I'm definitely loving the new model. But you know what? There's something, let's get real. The Supra was made during a period of time where there weren't that many crazy weapons. I believe that its base damage and its fire rate were really like, everybody's like, oh my god, this thing does so much damage. And I remember when this was released originally, I was like, oh my god, it's super powerful. It's like one of the most powerful weapons in game. And then I got my hands on it. I was like, wow, I don't like it. Just because of the fact that it really did feel like it kicked up way too much. Its accuracy was all over the place. And I liked to play back then at like mid to long range. Now, of course, things have changed. I like medium range gameplay now. You know, I like getting in there, getting nice and dirty, getting my face all up in it. However, realistically, kind of like at longer ranges, this isn't going to be the most amazing. Not that it's going to be bad. It just, you know, it just has a little trouble because it sprays all over the place. I mean, you can't expect to be able to, you know, to get to get a headshot halfway across the room with something like this, if you know what I mean. But it definitely does the job, as you can see right there. The only thing that you really want to keep in mind is the fact that even though it does the job, it does kind of do the job a little, I don't want to say sloppily, because I don't think it's bad. It's just that, you know, its optimal gameplay range is mid-range. I'm not gonna say it's short range because it's still quite good even ways away. I want to say like 15 meters is a pretty good range for it. 20 it starts to get a little sloppy, and then anything past like 30 you're like, maybe you should just either get a different, if that's the range that you like to play at, 30 meters plus. You know, unless you're taking down a crowd of enemies, I'd probably suggest that you try something else for accuracy, because here's the thing, and the thing about ammo management as a stat, it's really interesting, because it's one of those things that you can't necessarily define via numbers. Like, it's got a ammo stat rating of this, but legitimately, like, some weapons are just like, they just eat so much ammo, it is absolutely freaking ridiculous. And to have interesting tweaks to stats like accuracy, you wouldn't necessarily think that accuracy is, you know, you wouldn't instantly tie, or most people wouldn't instantly tie accuracy to ammo economy, but it definitely does. Base damage is also the same thing, and what do you call this? And fire rate is you know, fire rate kind of almost works against it, you know, just because of the thing, because legitimately, and this is what happens, is like, if you have a really fast fire rate, sometimes you end up putting bullets in things that are already dead, which is almost like a negative ammo economy stat, you know? And I'm not saying that fast fire rate is bad, it's just that for certain weapons that are already really ammo hungry, you want to hold on to as much ammo as possible, right? So anything that causes you to waste that ammo can really hurt. However, this is one of those weapons that it's kind of like, hey, listen, it's chill. I just want to hold the button down, and I just want to put a bunch of bullets into my enemies and watch them die a terrible punctured death, right? And you know what? Its bullet effects are kind of cool too. That's one of the things that I like about the Corpus, is their energy effects. Even though hit scan weapons are technically better, well, at least in my opinion, I like hit scan weapons a little bit better. However, this would probably synergize really well with mag. Why am I not using mag right now? Maybe one of these days. Maybe one of these days we'll give it a go with mag, because I think that this will actually perform pretty gosh darn well with her with magnetize. But yeah, so it's kind of like, that's kind of one of the things to like keep in mind too, is it's really hard to like gauge a weapon's ammo economy without actually playing it for, like, I'm not gonna say extended duration runs, but for like a substantial run. Like, we can look at this right now, and it's doing better, and I would assume that it's probably doing a lot better than its original version, mainly because of the fact that, like, even now on Wave 9, I can still stay topped off. I can still stay topped off with ammo and still have extra little bits at the bottom. So it's definitely, at least to me, it's a big increase. Plus, oh, the magazine size. Magazine size isn't like massive, and it doesn't change the fact that this thing has a really painful reload speed. But at least you can reload at your leisure. You don't, like, at your leisure. So it's kind of like, you can shoot a bunch of enemies, and then as you're running to your next target, reload. And that's kind of, that's one of those things, I always call it like a tactical reload. It's like right now, like, let's say I'm running over to here, I have a chance to reload, my weapon, and it's kind of like, alright, cool, you know, I don't run out of ammo before I kill something. Like, sadly, there's no stat for that. Like, this, well, we should probably come up with a stat for that, because we saw what happened with the Cycron, right? Like, unlimited ammo, fan-fucking-tastic, but guess what? You can't kill an enemy. You can't kill an enemy with one magazine, or you can't kill a substantial enemy with one magazine. So at least with this, you can see that you can kind of lay the hurt on. I want it, you jerks. You can lay the hurt on before you have to reload, because that's the worst feeling in the world, is when you're like, ugh, I have to reload this goddamn weapon before I can actually kill this enemy. That like sucks super bad. You're like, listen, I just want you to die first. Can you die first before I have to reload, please? This sucks. And there's no, like, you know, ammo sucks. Ammo efficiency sucks statistics. Like, they should have that for, like, ribbon disposition. They should have that for, like, ammo consumption disposition. Like, oh, this is, like, an ammo consumption disposition of, like, -3. So at least you know what you're walking into, right? You're like, oh, it's all of the statistics are great, but its ammo consumption is absolute shite. But yeah, that about wraps up my feelings on the Supra Vandal. I think if you liked the Supra before, you're still gonna like it now. It's not gonna be anything crazy. It's not something that I'm gonna run out and be like, oh my god, it's the be-all end-all, you guys. It's not this crazy top-tier weapon. It does have really good performance. And if you're into spray and play, it's definitely, or spray and play is a hairspray. Spray and pray. This works for you, but you have to pray less. There's less praying that goes on with the Supra Vandal, so good luck with all of your gaming. Hopefully you can, as you can see, my clan is like tearing through it. It's been one fucking afternoon and they are like 2/3 of the way there. Good job, you guys. So hopefully everything is going on as well for you and all of your clans. But yeah, that pretty much does it for me here. I hope you enjoy the new paint job because it's really exciting, and I will leave you with that. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!